Cheat this over there. We live, man. You know, peace of the gods, man. Three is free, man. We in the building, most definitely. You feel me? We gonna just talk about, we just vibing, high vibrational, freeing our vibration. You feel me? In this video right here, we're gonna be talking about how how I feel as though that going to Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 through 27, it reads that shows that the Bible support two-spirit people, and the Bible also support homosexuality, but everybody was one sex. You feel me? All this different types of genders and all this separation and all this duality, it's just a form of an illusion for real. You feel me? Everybody is one. You feel me? Everybody got to be one being. The first beings were asexuals, and they were hermaphrodites. You feel me? There was two spirits. So I see a big shift is happening. You feel me? And this video that we basically gonna be talking to y'all about is about that two spirit people is really the powerful people on the planet for real. Like, what do you think? I think cause we both two spirit. I'm two
Yes.
spirit. She's two spirit too. So I feel though that a lot of people it's afraid of two spirit people because of the power that we hold, and then they don't really, the society and the world don't really embrace the spirit of two spirit people. What do you think?
I think that's very true. I think a lot of people are afraid of two spirited people because we have the ability to go back between the two energies, masculine and feminine. We also can understand from both perspectives very, very quickly, and we can
Mm.
tap into the spirit realm quicker than most typical people who classify themselves as straight. I just think that this is just where they are in their journey. We're a little bit more further in our journey than what they are on currently.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is an evolution. So we are going back into um, being one with masculine and feminine energy instead of separate. So right now in society, we have men and women. When once upon a time we didn't have men and just women, we had hermaphrodites, pretty much, where it was just all just one. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like we're going back into that, but on a higher level. We broke apart so that we can actually be, so that we can be go through the putrefaction transformation process. So right now we're in the cocoon state, but we're almost done with being in the cocoon state. We'll be eventually coming out as a new type of butterfly.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. You feel me? Perfect. So yeah, I mean, she broke it down in the simplest way as possible, and I think that if people don't know that they are two spirit, like, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Like, everybody is the same. A woman is a man, and a woman is a man, and a man is a woman. We all the same. We all got nipples. We all have milk and natural organic milk inside of us. You feel me? We all the same species. We all got nipples. You know. You feel me? We all the same species. We all two spirit for you feel me? But a lot of people, it's kind of like confused with their sexuality. Being so attached to these labels and stuff. What do you think about the meaning of heterosexual? Because I just look at it like a lot of people just follow certain trends and follow certain people because of what society program you to. You feel me? A lot of people be like, "Oh, I'm straight," and I'd be like, "Okay, when you say straight, how is you straight if it's nothing straight within the universe?" You feel me? Like, like water don't flow straight. Water don't be flowing straight. Water moves in motion and curves. You feel me? Nothing in the universe is straight. Energy, wave patterns, energy doesn't move in a straight line. It moves in motion. Nothing stays still. Everything is moving in motion. You feel me? It's flowing. You feel me? So, what you think about that? The
Um,
straight thing.
well, I don't. I
If they did, if they say hetero, the meaning of heterosexual means to be attracted to the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
What? And we was one sex at the beginning, at one point in time, and we still want sex. So when heterosexual means to be attracted to the opposite sex, they basically mean to be attracted to something that is the opposite of you.
To be opposite
So
of
that's
you,
not
correct?
compatible, right?
It's not compatible. It is not
Yeah.
compatible. In fact, it creates a lot of pain. It creates a lot of confusion. It's just more or less to help the reincarnation process more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. So so the meaning like a lot of people like to say, oh, I can't like the homosexual thing is like I can't say that I'm homosexual because I can't be attracted to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But every it's just only one sex. Everybody is the same. A man is a woman, and a woman is a man.
Right.
You feel me? But everybody is not on that level yet because everybody's not two spirit. So
Right.
so most majority of the time, two spirit people understand that.
Most of the time, two spirited people totally understand that. Yes, we do.
Why only two spirit people understand that?
The reason why we understand it so clearly is because we actually are legitimately tapped all the way in. We actually have the power to go between the two energies, whereas the other people have declared themselves to have only one of the energies. I mean, if you typically ask a man who classifies himself as straight, how does he deal with his feminine energy? He will look at you like, I don't have no feminine energy. He completely has like abandoned or disregarded or thinks it's weak to have the other energy.
Fast, fast,
And
fast, fast.
society also too has programmed them also into this thought process.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, how do I see it? For people to keep reincarnating and keep being stuck in this death cycle or this simulation, what we call the earth plane or whatever you want to call it, this void that we in, it's because they not embracing their feminine energy. That's basically what it is, right?
Yes, they're not embracing their feminine energy. In fact, they actually are embracing the matrix more than anything. They're embracing the matrix. They're embracing reincarnation. They're embracing the soul trap that we live in.
What you mean by that? Cause as you were speaking, I felt the discomfort of being called homo. What you mean by that? Explain. Explain to us what you mean by that.
The discomfort of being called homo. He said that because as you were speaking, I felt the discomfort of being called homo. That and they don't remember themselves.
I look at it like this: we all gotta be harmonious. You feel me? If it's okay, I look at it like this: the feminine energy is the feel of that expression. You feel me? It's the feel of the expression of the masculine energy. You feel me? Or whatever. Like we had talk about that, man. We had talk about that. If I'm elaborating on it the correct way or whatever. Sometimes I be forgetting these things. So basically, it's like this or whatever. Like if a masculine meets with a person that's only just masculine and okay, if a masculine person is building a connection with a person that's masculine and feminine, that's an entanglement. You feel me? And if they forcing each other, that's what you would call an entanglement. You feel me? If the person only like the person and not attracted to the person, that's is another form of entanglement, and that would be down the low because why would you keep giving like why would you waste your energy on a person that you like but you're not attracted to?
Right. And the reason why he's saying it this way is because
Yeah.
sometimes the feminine can take on a male body, and sometimes the feminine can, I'm sorry, sometimes the masculine can take on a female body, and sometimes the feminine can take on a male body. And so oftentimes people feel so relegated to their bodies and not their actual soul, their spirit. They're not
Mm,
their energy. They actually disregard how they feel. Your feeling inside is actually is who you are. You understand what I'm
mm,
saying? So most people totally disregard that and focus on the physical aspects of things because the society that we actually live in says that you are this body. You know, at birth they label you as
yeah.
male or female, boy or girl at birth, and so that's what people generally stick with, even though energetically they don't feel that way. So they, some people can, can accept that programming, and they will go into, the world, and they will actually marry men, and women will marry one another, and they will be completely unhappy with one another. They'll be reproducing children that they don't want. They're just basically following culture, following the rules of a cult, basically.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And how the way I put it, do you think a chief have to be two spirit to be a chief?
Do I think a chief have to be two spirited to be a chief? Uh, in all honesty, it's something that I have not thought about in depth, but I would imagine a two spirited person would make an awesome chief, being able to actually go
Mm,
between the masculine and the
yeah.
feminine energy, especially when you may have to give judgment in certain circumstances. You may have to go between those two energies and things so that you actually can give the proper judgment. So I would imagine that, being two spirited and being a chief would be wonderful.
Yeah, cause I look into some history, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said a lot of chiefs had two spirit wives.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the chief's wives was two spirit. So if a chief is connected with two spirit people, you
Mm-hmm.
have to be two spirit because you are what you attract.
Mm-hmm.
You are what you attract. So it's
And
like
what you accept.
yeah, you are what you attract.
Mm-hmm.
What you attract is basically like you said, what you accept.
Mm-hmm.
What you like ain't always about what you accept, because anybody can like anybody,
Right.
but does not accept how the way they live their life and they personality traits and stuff like that. So it's real big, man. So I always be telling people like, stop with the situationships, stop being down the low, come out the closet. It's no point of hiding stuff under the rug and this and that. But people don't need to know your personal business. Just because you like a person and you're attracted to a person does not mean you gotta be online telling everybody what you do with your sexual personal life. Like I said,
Exactly.
we all together. I don't need to let the internet know, social media know what we do
Mm-hmm.
behind closed doors. What we do behind closed doors, that's our business. You feel me? It does not make it down a low, this and that and the third. You feel me? It just like people don't need to know all your personal business and all your personal secrets or what you do in your spare time with your family. You feel me? Because all the and then all these title stuff is just really um downplaying yourself. Like you feel me? Like a lot of shit called wife, husband, this and that and the third. You don't really need a like. We need to be more advanced. We need to be more indigenous. We need to be more telling each other we chief and chiefess, we gods and goddesses, and soulmates and twin flames
Mm-hmm.
and companions and empress, shit like this, man. Like we need to be touting each other on some royalty godly stuff because all this boo thing, boyfriend, girlfriend, it's whack. You feel me? It's whack. It's all them titles because you gotta watch out what you speaking to the universe. Because whatever you speaking to the universe is what you gonna get back to return.
They actually are all
Mm,
caste system titles. So actually, all
yeah.
of them are really slave type of titles. in slavery, there's
Yeah.
tiers in slavery, so it just depends on the type of slave that you want to be. And so, and where you are too, there's different cultures in the
Yeah.
caste system of slavery as well. So all
Facts.
those titles and things, they most definitely are a part of the caste system.
Yeah, most definitely. But we here for y'all, man. This is Chief Reminder Nation. Reminder Nation is part of Carbonation. Reminder Nation is Imagination, and we here to collect the collect the elite and convict the weak. That's what we here to do. You feel me? We will be the goat. We will be the goat. The goat is the greatest of all time. Abbreviation. You feel me? It's the reason why the Bible says you're gonna separate the goat from the sheep, the lost sheep. It's the sheep or the sleep ones. If you lost, you sleep, and just because the Bible then articulate it and really break it down to people or what the goat really actually is. I'm telling you what the goat really actually is. They might say the goat all wicked or whatever the case would be based on it being rewritten and interpreted by so many different people and stuff. But you gotta understand, a lot of people got their hand on the Bible so much that they rewrote it and they corrupted. It had been corrupted a lot. So we can't base off all our answers based off the Bible. We gotta go within ourselves. We gotta use our own discernment and our own intuition to know what the hell is going on. You feel me? You know, what you think? If a person try to like only just try to based off everything based off the Bible, is that person is limiting their mind or they not?
Yes, they are limiting their mind to an extent. Now, I
Yeah.
understand like seeking out knowledge, of course.
Mm.
So I understand why they are reading the Bible. They are on a journey they're seeking out. But if you stop there, and you say this is it, then most definitely you are limiting yourself.
Mm.
Most definitely limiting yourself. I mean, there's just the world is so vast, the spirit realm is so vast. You know what I'm saying? One thing can't tell you about everything. It's just impossible.
Yeah. Facts. In your highest form, in your higher self, everything is two spirit. God is two spirit. The Most High God is two spirit. Sophia, Lucia, Isis is two spirit. You feel me? The reason why everything got split in half because the Dimmers went against Sophia and want to create duality and separation. You feel me? That's what the devil is. The devil is the Dimmers. The devil wanted to create duality and separation. You feel me? But God didn't want to. You feel me? Even though our mother created the Dimmers, does not mean, even though Sophia, Lucia, Isis created the Dimmers, it does not mean she's against you. It just, you just going through spiritual bondage or spiritual punishment till you get back to the source, which is the creator that created you in this whole entire world. You feel me? You got to be one with the creator. You feel me? You're not separated from the creator because you're part of the creation. If you part of the creation, how you separated from the creator? If you came from a God, you got to be a God. You feel me? So I be telling people just wake up. It's not rocket science. It's really common sense when you put it all together. You feel me? And like I said, man, like you feel me? We out here, breaking generational curses, doing the shadow work. Doing the shadow work, waking up, doing the shadow work look, it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be kind of ugly at times. You feel me? It's gonna come off. It's going. You're gonna be convicted. You're gonna get triggered by a lot of things because it's them trauma that been in you for so long, for 40 years of slavery, them childhood traumas. You feel me? And your ancestors still live within you. If you didn't know, your ancestors still live within you. So everything your ancestors been going through, when you start doing that shadow work, you basically remembering all the things that your ancestors been going through, and then you got to conquer all that. You got to, But all this is a void. Everything is predestined. Everything already happened. The past and the future is happening at the same time simultaneously. Everything is happening now. You're in the present. The past and the future is happening now at the same time. You feel me? Peace, God. What's up with you? What's up? What's up? We ain't doing nothing. Just me and my cheaters. We over here proclaiming the kingdom of God, man. And we just letting y'all know, like, we here for y'all. We on this, free Elijah Bishop, free Rashad Jamal, free Young Pharaoh, free Brother Polite, free Dr. McCoss, New York. Rest in peace, Dr. Sebi. You feel me? All our black powerful leaders that had came in position. Like Malcolm X. Even though I know Martin Luther King had did what he had did best for us, and we all got flaws. We all gonna make mistakes. We all we're not flawless. So we all trying to figure this shit out. So it's time to just bring peace, to spread peace and love, and positivity. Or not. I'm not in Florida right now. You feel me? You know, I'm not in Florida. I won't mind going back to Florida, but right now I'm not in Florida right now. I'm not in Florida, you know. But, like I said, man, it's time to get back in tune with nature. It's time to live in harmony with nature, you know. And it's time to use these platforms for real, man. It's time to use these platforms to really um find your soul tribe. Find your soul tribe. Find your soul family. You feel me? Because, like I said, this internet ain't gonna be here for too long. I'm not gonna be here too long talking to y'all. And you gotta know how to survive without money. You need to know how to survive off the land. You feel me? That's very important. So you need to really begin with people to know about all this stuff. You feel me? They're self sufficient. They got sovereignty and immunity, most definitely. For sure, for sure. You know. Is there anything you want to elaborate on?
Nope, just peace and hair grease.
Piece of hair grease or whatever. Yeah, but like I said, man, carbonation, machination is Reminder Nation. It's not over. We still here. You feel me? And like I said, we responsible for the next generation. We don't need to procreate no more because what we got between our legs is not made for procreation. It's made for surviving and bonding and pleasure. That's what it's made for. You feel me? Like, why do you want to keep reincarnating back here again? Once you know this your last life cycle and you know you truly doesn't belong here and you're not the mind and you're not the body, you feel me? And you in one body and many bodies, you feel me? Having a human experience so you become God. Now you're trying to tap into the highest plane of existence. You're trying to get back into the spiritual realm, the astral realm, where you don't have to feel pain or any or sickness or dying or death or anything like that. That's in the astral realm. The non-physical. Everything is really supposed to be non-physical. You feel me? Most definitely. Life is temporary because life truly doesn't exist. Anything that's temporary truly doesn't exist. You feel me? Nothing truly doesn't exist while you're observing it, right?
It doesn't.
You can close your eyes right now and say, observer. What do you see? You see nothing but darkness. You see nothing. That's what we are. We nothing. We everything. You feel me? Yep. That's basically what this shit is, man. You are living inside your mind. You feel me? You're living inside of a dream. And the dream that you're living inside of is God's dream. You're living in God's dream. Once you know that you're living in God's dream, and you know that separation is an illusion, and God created everything, and everything is you, why would you go against what God had created? God created all this in his dream, and everything is a reflection of you. So when you look at another person and you go against another person, you're just going against yourself because everything is God. The universe is everything. Once you have stuff master that, then you realize like I don't have no enemy. The only enemy is the inner me. You your own enemy. So when you start creating enemies externally, or you seeking for external validation for approval to who you are, you just lost in the sauce because everything is internal. Everything is inward, not outward. That's why they say this is a holographic projection. You're not receiving anything. You projecting. It's not about perception, it's all about projection. That's what it's all about. The third dimension is an illusion or it's mental. I mean that's fact, that's facts, but you gotta look at it like this. Everything was spiritual before it was mental. You feel me? Because I tell people all this right now. Said, "What's up, God? It's Pharaoh." Said, "What's up, God? It's Pharaoh from Bigo." You talking about young Pharaoh? But like I was saying before, I have a change. Before I lost what I was about to say. I was about to say like what was I about to say? To me, I understand. You know, the hermetic principles, right? The seven hermetic principles. Everything is mental. I get that, but I look at it like this: everything is spiritual before mental. Because I look at it like this: you get rid of these three things. That's how you're gonna understand that everything is spiritual before mental. You get rid of race. You get rid of race, religion, and gender, right? Mm-hmm. Get rid of these three things: race, religion, and gender. You get rid of race, religion, and gender, you ain't nothing but a spirit. And what is spirit is energy, and what is energy is frequency and vibration. So once you know that only thing you is ain't nothing but frequency and vibration, right? Everything around you is that. That's what a spirit is actually is. Frequency and vibration. So I'm talking to you not only through just only my genetics. I understand we study epigenetics, but and we understand that our astrological program design determined based off the spirit. So everything is spirit. Everything is spiritual before it was mental. That's how the way I see it. Everything is spiritual before it was mental. They might not say it on the trail universal laws. You feel me? They might not say it in the trail universal laws. I think the first universal laws is divine oneness. What is divine oneness? God. And what is God? Everything. God is nothing. God is nothing. God is everything. But God could be something if you keep trying. God is something because we all God and we living in God's dream, trying to be something and don't even understand that God is the universe and the universe is everything. So if God is the universe and the universe is everything, why is we trying to be something? If we everything in the universe and the universe is everything. Think about that. Shouldn't we, once we get to that mindset, and once we get to that mindset and realization of what God really is, then we will understand that we just going against ourselves. We really is going against our motherfucking self because everything is God. How do you have the enemy? You feel me? The only thing that pretty much is the enemy is anything that exists that there's anything that don't want to coexist with the creator. That's not trying to live in harmony with everything around it. You feel me? They're trying to go against everything. They're trying to go against nature, all the shit in the above. And also, what else? Anything that's vibrating low. Anything that's vibrating low, anything that is the devil, the demerge would be any, like, I understand they might say the demerge is a lesser god. Yeah, the devil is God in a disguise, most definitely. You feel me? Do we agree?
We do agree.
Yeah, to a certain degree, the devil is God in disguise because the devil can play like, oh, he's he all good and he all you know the devil like to lie and deceive people and shit. Like I tell people all the time, you know, you believe in the lie so long it become the truth. You feel me? And like I said, even when you lie, you telling the truth. You feel me? Nobody's 100% telling the truth. Nobody's 100% telling a lie. You feel me? I'm not telling y'all I'm lying to y'all. I'm telling y'all that I'm trying to break the illusion of separation and I'm trying to break the illusion of duality to show y'all that nobody lying or telling the truth. Because even when you lie, you're telling the truth.
Mhm.
The universe doesn't lie, energy doesn't lie, the vibes don't lie. That's what Bruce Lee said. Become water, my friends. When you put water in the cup, it becomes the cup. When you put water in the teapot, it becomes the teapot. You should flow like water. Anything water touch, it becomes that. It become one with that. So that's why I be telling people, you know, flow like water. Flow like water. Flow like water. Well, yeah, man, we out. We just vibing and stuff. High vibrational, you know. We just here trying to help free our vibration out this matrix because that's what it's all about, man. To really free yourself out of this matrix, out of this illusion, out of this death simulation, this death cycle, you know, out of this void, is to free your vibration. That's what it's all about. Somebody said something right. We're gonna answer this last question before we end it.
How does one get initiated? Is what it says. Initiated into what exactly?
And yeah, into what? What do you mean by that? You talking about like joining my tribe? To get initiated to join my tribe, you gotta be vibrating.
Ifa. Ifa is a spiritual. You have to talk. If you wanted to get, if he wants to get initiated into Ifa, you have to find a babalao who would do initiations. You would have to find out who is like the head spirit from Ifa will over over your family and all that kind of stuff like that, and they'll tell you all those different things. But you have to find a babalao for that,
Okay.
and then he wants to know how to get initiated into the tribe.
And you want to get it in you want to join my tribe too, you know, to join Reminder Nation. Like I said, for my master teacher Elijah Bishop Babaji, master chief, I'm chief myself, right? I'm a master teacher myself. To join Reminder Nation, which is combination of my imagination, is basically vibrating on the same frequency vibration as us. You feel me? You it's basically it's a lifestyle. You feel me? It's a way of living. You gotta live indigenous. You gotta be willing to live in nature. You gotta be willing to live in harmony with nature. You gotta be proclaiming the kingdom of God, spreading the awareness, hashtagging, you know, imagination, you know, putting out certain hashtags like how you see how I put in my videos, you feel me? Just, you know, that's how you join us. And eventually, if we see that you constantly keep doing it, we see you dedicated and stuff, we'll pick up on your signal out there on social media, and then we reach out to you, get your information, get your contact information, then we'll talk and we'll schedule some arrangements to see how we can all build something, you know, to a certain degree. But you know, first we gotta see if you serious, like, and that's another thing I be telling this. You know, my chiefs be telling me too. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
need to, we need to start meeting people that's on the same vibration as us, like that's already there with us. But I try to be open minded because, like I said, everybody, we all coming from hell. We all trying to get back in power. We all humans. We all having this human experience till we find our source, to our reality, till we find a purpose, till we become gods and goddesses. Again, we trying to get our mind back. That's why my tribe called Reminder Nation, because I'm helping y'all to remember who y'all are. I'm trying to help y'all remember who y'all are. So that's what this channel is all about. That's what we trying to do. We trying to help y'all remember who y'all are before the system collapse, and you will be out here running around like chickens with your head cut off, like zombies out here. You feel me? Because a lot of people like zombies, the Walking Dead out here. So we just basically trying to help y'all, get to.
You need to practice some type
Yeah,
of trade in nature.
yeah.
You need to know how to take care of yourself in
Okay,
nature.
we got a person saying you need to keep the Ten Commandments and warn Christians to stop breaking the Ten Commandments and rebuke sin. Okay, I mean you right about that. You right about that. But like I said, I'm not here. I'm not here for Christians. You feel me? I'm not here for Christians. I'm not here for Muslims. I'm not here for nobody that is religion. I'm here for people that is here to that is being reborn again. Because Jesus Christ said clearly, you won't be able to enter the kingdom of God unless you be reborn again. You won't see the kingdom of God unless you be reborn again. And the kingdom of God is within you. You know, it's not the kingdom of God is nothing externally. It's something internally. It's a the kingdom of God is an imagination. That's what the kingdom of God is. It's imagination. You feel me? So whatever imagination that you are creating right now internally, keep that imagination in your head, in your like constantly keep having faith in that imagination all the way till you ascend out of this body. But it's not easy. It's gonna come with a battle because they're trying to stop people from waking up, and they're trying to stop people from creating their imagination. They want you to be trapped in this box. They want your soul to be trapped in this world, so you won't cross over. They want you to keep going to the light. They don't want you to go to the dark. You feel me? They don't want you to tap into the nothingness, to become everything, to become God, to create your own imagination. Because that's what God is. God to When you tap into God, God is going to help you to create your own imagination outside of this holographic projection that they program you to. Yeah, so we've been here plenty of times, man, plenty of times, man. But you know, this is our last life cycle, so we don't need to procreate because this is our last life cycle. It's enough
Mhm.
children on this planet, and it take a village to raise a child. It's enough children on this planet, so you don't need to procreate anymore. Procreation is over with. We got enough people already on this planet. We got enough children already on this planet, so we don't not need to procreate anymore. You feel me? What we need to do is get together, nation build, build our tribes, find our tribes, our soul family, and prepare and we every day of our life we always preparing and training ourselves to cross over. But anyway though, peace. I love myself. It just